The big question, will there be a season 2? The short answer is yes and no. Keep in mind that Glitch has claimed in the comments, not even in the description of the 7th episode, that we're finally back with one of our biggest episodes yet. If you enjoyed the show, we're now on the next and final episode. Consider picking up some of the merch to help us make the episode even bigger and better. I want you to notice that they don't specify season, but in November they said, hope you're ready for the final episodes of Murder Drones Season 1 next year, because it's ready for you. The only difference is that the most recent comment excludes the word season. This means they are most likely referring to Season 1 and not the show in general. And if episode 8 was the last episode in the series, then it seems like something you would address through a community post and not a comment on an episode, especially the second to last episode. This kind of screams red herring, especially because shows like Sunset Paradise, which was only going to be one season from the start, never used the word season, and neither does The Amazing Digital Circus, which is scheduled to be one season long. But Meta Runners, a show that was 3 seasons long, had used the word season to describe the show from the beginning. Even the nature of the show points to the show being longer than one season. In episode 7, Khan points out what Sin plans to do from what he's learned from Nori's closet.
If my wife's closet is right, the planet's gonna try to eat us soon.
And it's not just Khan, Doll does it too.
Где фиксит человек?
Not sure what you mean.
Избавиться от вычислителя. Где он?
So that's what they were doing down here, huh? Crucifix-looking thing.
Так ты не знаешь.
Had my suspicions. Thought they kept cutting my feed. Touch to save yourself, huh?
Я не позволю вычислителю использовать меня и поглотить планету.
Not sure it needs you, buddy.
For those who have watched the story closely, you know that the story is full of misdirection. But more importantly, we're told what Sin intends to do an episode early. In short, Sin winning has become the spoon-fed assumed outcome, which means Sin isn't going to win. As Sin winning now contradicts the show's own nature in misleading the viewer from episode to episode. Spoon-fed info on future events is almost always false or misleading, while subtle information can reign true. Here's an example from the first episode, and then some.
We are worker drones, autonomous robots helping humans mine exoplanets for our interstellar parent company, JC Jensen, in space. Yeah, we were mistreated in the name of Windex, but it's not like we revolted and killed all humans or anything. Mostly because they handled that just fine all by themselves. With biological life wiped from the planet, we found it pretty easy to pick up where they left off. We finally had a future, all to ourselves. Unfortunately, our parent company didn't exactly love the concept of runaway AI.
Wait, buddy. Questioning the company? You just finally gave me the excuse I needed. Worker drones are corrupted, and that's why the company sent us. I hate to see you corrupted as well.
So, I clearly have to explain myself. So how is the worker drones corrupt? Well, that statement's actually overgeneralized. They're hunting the pack because individuals are corrupt. They're actually referring to the Absolute Solver hosts, in this case Uzi and Doll, but they don't know who's infected, so they're hunting everyone at this point of the show. This is actually outlined pretty well when V sets her sights on both Uzi and Doll in episode 4 because she figures out they're the ones infected.
Hey, stupid idiot. Weren't you just...
You said this camp would help us catch that red-eyed doll freak. How about more explory, less watch from window creepy?
Working on it. Just so glad you guys fit right in. Super cool.
Better to stay distant, though. Don't you think? Since I'll have to kill you next.
Now, right away you can see the spoon-fed information from episode 1 was wrong, however the subtle information ended up being true. The same is true for just about every episode. We're not going to do every episode because, well, this video is already going to be over 20 minutes long, and honestly I don't want to make it much longer. So we're going to do episode 2 and that's it.
Speaking of piloting to Earth, we sure murder all humans is, morality?
The humans sent you without a communication relay and reformatted your memories to soup. Covering their tracks means they're past negotiating. Not like they tried negotiating with my mom.
Or you missed the negotiations. The humans programmed us to solve a problem. Where's proof of your backstory? The one where your kind's so conveniently innocent.
What's with the voice, Jay?
Oh, Jay's not here. We are trying to repair that host as per our directive.
So you are a program?
More like you are our cute puppets. It hurts our feelings you don't remember us.
And what's with the mom hologram?
Oh, don't mind me.
So, the story probably won't end in episode 8, but the story may not continue in the form of seasons. It's possible that Glitch could be looking to rebrand Murder Drones because of the Amazing Digital Circus's success. To be frank, how many of you have watched the shows that Glitch released before Murder Drones? Not many of you, I imagine, but you're all for the shows that come after Murder Drones. Well, it's the same way for those who watch the Amazing Digital Circus first. So if they were to do a sequel instead of season 2, the show probably would get a lot more attention. That and the name Murder Drones out of context can be quite off-putting, so this is going to be a great way for them to change it. Regardless, as it stands, Murder Drones is unlikely to end in a single season due to a certain event occurring in episode 7, assuming that no real-world issues have come up and forced them to end the show early. We can actually see several bits of information that were shown in episode 7 suggesting the show must go on to finish the story. First is the patch that was hinted at all the way back in episode 3.
Не тебя.
Жаль. Если я найду то, что ищу, то и тебе помогу.
What?
Извини.
The patch represented the solution to stopping sin throughout the story, and pulling a rabbit out of your hat now and passing it off as an ending would just be lazy writing. Now that the patch is gone, our characters will be powerless to stop sin from taking Copper 9. However, at the same time, we are shown that Uzi made it off-world before the collapse, as we can see from the outline of the planet as it's collapsing or is about to collapse. So we're already presented with the idea that the main cast, to some extent, will escape while Sin kills the remaining populace of Copper 9 and consumes the planet. Another thing is that unless Sin wins, the story won't end as there are more exoplanets.
Thought they could understand it.
We actually see 2 more JC Jensen-owned planets from Sinessa in episode 6 that Sin hasn't gotten to yet, so even if the characters crucial to the story were to die, and not come back, then they could be replaced with a brand new character if need be. This is a good time to remind everyone that Sin's goal isn't just to take Copper 9, but to eliminate all the drones on the planet as well, as she perceives them to be threats. So even if Sin loses, Copper 9 could still be lost with a few surviving characters who would escape on Jay's ship, moving the story over to another exoplanet and some new characters. Then again, maybe the patch isn't gone for good, and can be used to stop Sin. Maybe N switched the patch with a fake that he made with his nanofactory arms. It's also possible that another patch can be made. However, the process will most likely require a sacrifice given all the religious symbolism that surrounds both the patch and the Absolute Solver. As I predicted in the previous videos, Yeva could be alive, and according to the terminal Sin used, she got the full patch, so she could be sacrificed to get a working version of the patch. As for how it would probably happen, I would have to guess that JC Jensen had some means of extracting data from drones that just so happens to kill their software after the extraction as a security precaution against the Absolute Solver. For those who didn't see my Yeva is Alive video, here's a quick summary. Those who did see it, skip to this point in the video. When Sin checks the console that manages the patches, we see Nori is in progress, meaning the computer has a direct connection to the drones, as no human could have updated it after the core collapse of Copper 9, which happened seconds after the patch started to install. Yeva is the only other drone that isn't grayed out, implying that the connection between her and this computer is maintained. We also see the grayed out drones as Sin opens a few lockers to show dead drones. Given that we know that Nori is alive and she isn't grayed out, we can assume that Yeva is alive and, like Nori, has been reduced to a core since we've seen her dead body. But where is Yeva? If she's not at Colony 3 or at the lab helping Nori, well, it's possible that V ate her core the same way Sin ate Doll's when she killed her, but could now be free since V was most likely ripped open by the Sentinels. For more on this topic, watch Yeva is Alive, link in the description. So if Yeva doesn't make an appearance in the next episode, it's a telling sign that there's more to the story. Alright, we covered how the patch could be acquired. Let's now cover what would happen if Sin got the patch, although I've already done it in my The Show Ending Hinges on What Happens to Sin video. So here is another quick summary. If you watch the video, you can skip to the time displayed on screen, but be warned, I snuck in extra information I haven't gone over. Basically, if Sin got the patch, she would be free of the Absolute Solver's possession. And we know she's possessed, as she acts completely differently at the beginning of episode 5.
You seem upset, Big Brother N. Perhaps you'd like to attend the gala with me. Light sip.
Oh, not sure we're invited, little buddy. Why not just hang with me?
Climbing. Crisscross applesauce. Am I not wanted, N?
Dude, you know it's Tessa's folks. Don't give me those eyes.
Giggle. I am so naughty. The flesh demands invitation.
We'll ask Tessa, okay? If not, movie night.
Sheepish nod. Shuffle, 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 shuffle.
Western Villa style? Were you programmed by beasts?
In the credits of episode 5, the voice actor, I'm gonna probably butcher this, Alana Fitzgerald, plays both Sin and the Absolute Solver. Notice that I listed them as separate entities, as that's what the credits do. In episodes 6 and 7, she's just listed as the Absolute Solver. This isn't a coincidence, but proof that Sin is possessed. if you didn't already think that from the hints starting in episode 5 till episode 7. And we're sure to see even more in episode 8. So Sin will be free of the Absolute Solver's control and won't complete its mission to destroy the planet nor kill all of its residents. Notice that I felt the need to say all, as even without the Solver, Sin is most likely mentally unstable and prone to murder, just not everyone on the planet. I also imagine that her total lack of confidence will cause her to shadow N disguised as someone else, since the Solver was the one who was overconfident, not Sin. And for those who are asking why she would shadow N, well, both Sin and the Absolute Solver have shown some interest in N. Man, this guy just can't catch a break apparently. The Absolute Solver is now unable to use Sin and will need to take another host. One who doesn't have the patch and is desperate enough to let the Solver access their systems in return for something else. Hey look, Uzi in space. Yeah, Uzi being trapped in space might make her the Solver's next victim, as she'll have no choice and eventually give in. However, silver lining, the Solver lost all of its access to everything under Sin's administration, so no backup bodies, planet-sized or not, and no resources. The only thing the Absolute Solver will have under Uzi's administration is N and V, but the Absolute Solver will probably need to add N's safety to the deal to access Uzi's systems, as well as V's safety. However, V's safety is more debatable. It's even debatable whether or not Uzi will even think of V when making this deal. But at the same time, after episode 6, you'd probably imagine that she would consider it or maybe think about it, but then again, depending on how long she spends in space, it could very easily slip her mind. Now, if you're still not convinced we're getting a second season or sequel, then look at the merchandise for episode 7. The doll animats has a rather interesting description. Doll's not gone, she's right here with us. She's actually always with us, always following us, forever. So right away, the merchandise suggests that she is not gone. Which makes sense because the one who killed her was the Absolute Solver, who isn't above using others to her benefit. Sin may also do the same. Keep in mind, Doll was reduced to a core like Nori was and then was eaten by Sin. However, she wasn't destroyed in the process, rather Sin just swallowed her. So for Sin, or the Absolute Solver, to bring her back, just works. In the name of Todd Howard, it just works.
It just works.
Doll will most likely make an appearance in the second season or the sequel, as someone tasked by Sin to hunt down the main cast while sporting freaky mutations. This only adds the drama if she learns about her mother potentially dying again, and thinks that Doll herself was dead when she died again. Yeah, Doll will not be well after hearing that. But that's just another reason why we're getting another season or sequel. But that leaves the question of when will episode 8 come out so that we know for sure. I would say some point in the summer, August at the latest, and as early as July. Which only leaves the expectation for the sequel, assuming we are getting one. First, we can take into consideration the other shows that Glitch is making, which are The Amazing Digital Circus and The Gaslight District. The Amazing Digital Circus is only going to be 1 season long, according to its creator, Gooseworks, unless she's bullied into making a prequel. While providing us with stunning animation, the show steps away from the rigid storytelling that Murder Drones is doing, and instead will send its cast on random adventures, as Kane will quite literally send them on random adventures. The Gaslight District, to my knowledge, will work in a similar fashion. There will be some storyline between characters, but each episode will be its own adventure with a start and finish. Both of these shows, while having great animation, do not have the same level of polish as Murder Drones, and as such won't take as long to make. We can actually expect both shows to come out within a year of each other, since each team works on their shows simultaneously it would be a perfect time for a sequel to come out after the next 2 shows, so nothing new after episode 8 until 2025. And even then, it'll probably be late 2025 in the middle of the Gaslight District's production, as that's usually where shows will start. It'll start at some point in the middle of production of another show. That will have to do it for this video though. While I've already made my prediction for episode 8, I'll be doing a more in-depth one in the future, assuming I don't get hit with teasers within the coming weeks. I also have a few smaller videos I plan to do. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.